afternoon. How are you
Hi,
today?
hi, Sidi. I'm good. I'm good. And yourself?
I'm really good. So I guess we'll start with an introduction. Your name and your hometown.
Yeah. So my name is Jyasi. My hometown itself is Castries, Saint Lucia, and that's an island in the Caribbean. Yeah.
An interesting question too, and I guess I get it sometimes. But when somebody asks you, "What's your background?" How would you answer that over here? And how would you answer it, let's say, if you were traveling, or how would you answer it if you were back home? Is there a difference in how you would answer that question?
Honestly, I would think cause I grew up in Saint Lucia, like Saint Lucian society formed who I am today, mostly, right? Because I grew up in St. Lucia. I was there from 1999 to 2016. So most of my experiences and my thought process, my perspectives would have come from there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think in addition to that, so my dad is from St. Lucia and my mom is from Trinidad, right? So
Yeah.
sometimes there aren't as many things I can relate to with the Trinidad society, but I know for sure St. Lucia. So um, I would say I'm for sure St. Lucian. If you want to say like ethnically, I'm Afro Caribbean. Yeah,
There you go.
yeah,
So, does St. Lucia also have a carnival?
yeah. We
So
do.
who's better,
Yeah.
Trinidad or St. Lucia?
I think over the years, St. Lucia's gone much better.
Yes.
Yeah. Um, I would also say that it it gets better. It got better and better over the years. And well, there's no carnival this year because of the pandemic.
Yes.
But I never really used to go to carnival. Yeah, my mom likes it. She's from Trinidad. Yeah, I'm not saying those. I'm not saying just because she's from Trinidad she likes carnival, but yeah, most people do. Yeah.
The word on the street is Trinidad's is the best. So I had to ask if you guys had one as well, and just for a little comparison. But that's a fair answer. You don't even
Yeah.
go. So
Yeah. But
it's
what
not.
happens is that Trinidad's zone is around February, March time, but St. Lucia's own is in July. So
Okay.
even if you had a preference, you could still go to both,
And still
you know? So yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. So I guess a little bit about your family. Do you have siblings? Are they back home, or are they also, international students as yourself? Give us a little bit about the makeup of your family.
Yeah. So I have two brothers. One is 25 and
Hmm.
he's in Boston right now. And then my eldest brother, he's in England right now.
Okay.
And he's 40. Yeah. So yeah.
So
And then
that's
so there's I'm in Canada. My elder brother is in Boston. Yeah. The eldest one is in England. And then
eldest in England, 25-year-old is in Boston. And
yeah, and then my dad's in St. Lucia, my mom's in Trinidad. So
nice.
Tobago, yeah. Trinidad and Tobago is one country, but she lives in Tobago. Yeah,
Okay.
the island. Yeah. So
TNT, right?
yeah, yeah. That's what
I hear that. I think there's even the way they speak is a little different between the two, if I got that right.
between
Or
Trinidad and Tobago.
yeah. Or no.
I I haven't I haven't noticed it. You would definitely see the different. Okay, I would because I grew up in the Caribbean. I know the difference between the accents of the each like island.
Island. Yes.
Yeah, I generally know like okay, this person is from Trinidad, this person is more so Saint Lucia, Saint Vincent, and Jamaica's one is separate on its own. Like I could figure out Jamaica. That's kind of easy. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes. It's
yeah,
it's more mainstream, I would say. When you consider the Caribbeans, the first thing you would think about is Jamaica, that island, right? And when you think of Caribbean culture or music and whatnot, you would think reggae, dance hall right away, right? Uh,
yeah, yeah.
but hey, soca is just as good, right?
It is. It is. It is. It's definitely more of a party song. Yeah,
Yes.
party like
More
genre.
beats,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess I would describe it. So tell us about your academic program on campus and your contribution to the athletics department as a athlete.
So I'm in my 3A term of science and business, and I've been on the varsity swim team for the past 3 years. Yeah.
Okay.
So and well, now I'm a part of the alliance, which is why we're doing this. Yeah, yeah, but
Yeah, I
this is
think I
a great
remember seeing
opportunity.
the video.
Yeah.
I guess with the pandemic right now, how's that affecting um, how's that affecting your school, and how's that affecting, I'm assuming one of the reasons you came here was for swim as well. How has the pandemic affected all of that?
So in the beginning, well, there was no practice or anything, but I was so this was when we think of the beginning, we think of in March. So
Mhm.
I wasn't in Waterloo at the time. I was on co-op. But when I moved back, that's when I so like in the summertime I started doing more like work on my own. So like I had academic term in the summer as
Mhm.
well as I did like exercises and we call it dryland workouts, but dryland only makes sense to a swimmer. Yeah, but it's basically gym body weight exercises on your own. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I've been doing that up until well presently. Yeah. And then we started swimming from September to December. We had a good training block there.
Okay.
Yeah. And then
Cool.
we start back next week.
Yeah, we start back soon. Are you excited?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We're definitely dating this interview now.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I enjoy watching, especially in the Olympics, the swim competitions. Obviously, the whole world now knows Michael Phelps just because of the accomplishments he's done, and I feel like he's contributed a lot to the sport just by being able to win all those medals, right?
Mhm.
But no, I do enjoy my water sports. Do I participate? No, but being a spectator,
Yeah.
so that's what he needs. Um, I guess we're going to shift a little. Role models. Uh, who are your role models?
Um honestly, I don't particularly have any.
Mm-hmm.
I used to, but I found out they were a bit more human than I thought. So
Yes.
yeah. So now I end up taking the parts I want to model, and then like to those like more heroic aspects of them, and I take that and try to add that to myself. Um, of course, it comes mostly from family and friends, but even a stranger on the road, I try to learn something from them.
Yeah.
Whether it be what to do, what not to do. I honestly think that you can learn something from everybody. So
I,
and nobody's perfect either. So that's why you just take that specific good part and then add it to yourself. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I definitely do think we can all learn from each other. It just takes great listening skills, right?
Yeah.
What you said about finding out they're not perfect, that's absolutely true. There is no perfect or complete human being. I think what's important is to see what it is that you like about them, and maybe try to take that on, and then the stuff that you don't like, just completely, forget it, because we
Yeah.
all have our faults as well. So no, that's
Mm-hmm.
a perspective. That's a really good perspective.
Yeah.
um, what motivates you then, since you don't have role models, but there are things
Mm-hmm.
from I guess wiser people, or just general conversations you have with people that you'd like to take on. What motivates you?
I think for me, it's maximizing my potential
Okay.
and making the most of my opportunities. I think that way I can become the best Jyasi possible, right? And that's the only thing I can do, really become the best me. So that's my aim. Yeah.
There's no one else that can do
Yeah.
it better.
Yeah, exactly. And it's an easy goal. So yeah, it's yeah. I think but yeah, that's what's been pushing me the most.
Just to become the best version of yourself.
Yeah.
That's very admirable.
Mm-hmm.
And things with goals too is you have to, especially something like that. That's a long term. That's a lifelong goal, and it will shift and change depending on the phases of life you're going through. But as long as you see, I guess, progress, you're on the right road, or right path. I mean, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So describe your experience at UW and maybe even in the city and the community.
I think I've actually had a really good experience, honestly. I've definitely grown. I've learned about myself and grown a lot as a person as well. I think the Jyasi of September 2018 would be pretty happy of where I am today and who I am as a person as well. Yeah, and all my accomplishments as well. Yeah.
So what's a message that you would tell that younger version of yourself?
I would say trust the process and really take advantage of, because there are many, I find in Waterloo, there are people from all sorts of backgrounds, right? But
Yeah.
different cultures. And I still think that we still ended up having some of the same values because we're all here to be successful, right?
Yes.
So I think that's where I could have I guess push myself a bit more because yeah, like there are a lot of people that I've learned from, and yeah, it's good to well, like as I said prior, learn from those heroic aspects of everybody you meet. Yeah. So
and then apply it. Don't just
apply it, right?
Definitely apply it too, right?
Yeah.
No, that's true. And when you said that there's different cultures here on University of Waterloo, the thing that is common amongst all of us, well, I'm not a student anymore, but when I was a student, is in high school we were all overachievers, and to become an overachiever, you have to have a certain mindset. You have to be not just motivated, but you have to be relentless in what it is that you want, and only in doing that can you become a student over here on campus at Waterloo. So that, I guess, is what is common amongst the student population here, is the hard work that they put in, right? And so no, that's perfect. Kind of ties into, I guess, my next question. What would you tell incoming students other than work hard?
I think for incoming students, make sure you keep an open mind. Definitely. Okay. There's a lot more, other than the academic aspects of Waterloo. Yeah, you're coming in for a degree, but I think the networking aspects, you can indirectly experience a culture if you just speak to somebody you just never met before, right? And yeah, I think really take advantage of the worldly perspective you might get from the school. Yeah.
So you said experience different cultures. Are you part of any of the student groups on campus?
Yeah, so I'm part of the Caribbean Association. Okay. When we're in person and everything, so that was probably last year and year before. I was participating in certain base events as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then there's also the cultural caravan, which I enjoyed when I saw it. That was like when it was at 2019. Yeah, March 2019. Yeah, that was a good one as well.
So, yeah, no, I've always loved that event. Myself, when I was a student, I was part of the African Student Association. I think the name might have changed. Yeah, a cultural caravan was always something we looked forward to. I find that even joining those student groups, like, I spent most of my childhood in Canada, so joining those student groups, it kind of just reminded me of kind of being back home, the way everyone interacted with each other, and then we would have potlucks as well. So the different foods coming and the way we're all sitting, and sometimes even eating from the same big tray and whatnot. So it does give you that comfort sometimes that you might be longing for if you haven't had a chance to go back home in a bit. So no, I think they're very important. I definitely think every student should try to find a group to join. School isn't just about the textbooks. There's so much more learning to be done, whether it's through work, volunteering, or being part of a student group. There's so much more education that can be had.
Definitely.
So, what is your most proudest moment to date? What is the thing that you're most proud of?
I think I'm proud of a lot of things. I would say specifically, there are two I would say I'm most proud of. My relationship with my friends and family, and definitely who I am as a person today. Yeah. Like I said previously, becoming the best version of myself. I think like I'm on the way to it, and I'm proud of like how like 2 years ago maybe I guess the 19-year-old Jyasi would be proud of this. He would look up to the 21-year-old Jyasi. So yeah,
Good.
I think that's good.
So I guess this ties in really well then. What are the future goals? What is this current Jyasi going to look forward to future Jyasi doing?
That's a good question. So even outside of this interview, I've been actively thinking about it. I haven't figured out a concrete answer as yet.
Okay. And you
I
don't have
think,
one right now, right? Sometimes,
yeah,
on our journey, we find the thing that we were looking for without knowing we were looking for it.
exactly. Especially during this quarantine, you really find out like who you are and who you want, what you want for yourself in the future as well. And I do think that it's changing over the years. Like I think my interests have broadened.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, I did want to be like a pharmaceutical consultant.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Okay.
that's the only one I could really
Think
say
about
for
it.
certain. Yeah. So.
And, maybe on your road to that, you find that there's a branch of pharmaceuticals that you enjoy much more too, right?
Exactly.
Honestly, that's what makes tomorrow really exciting. It's the surprise elements, and then if you can seize those moments, they turn out really great, right?
Yeah.
Being February, I do have to ask, what does Black History Month mean to you?
I think it's a time so Black History Month I think is a time to highlight and learn about all the ways that Black people have impacted society throughout the years, right? I find and in all fields, right? I find in too many times you find Black people, well, us being portrayed in a certain, us intentionally portrayed in a certain light and
Mm-hmm.
having specific characteristics. So I think this sort of like exposure to Black people being represented in all fields,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably the best. This is the best thing, and well, it should be more than a month, right? I don't think it should. I don't think it takes a month to recognize
my
the.
my philosophy on Black History Month is, I think when the idea was proposed, it was good, but why has it stayed stagnant, right? Why hasn't it moved to 2 months? Why hasn't it moved to 3 months, all the way till just Black history? And then why is it not just called history, but then we also pay attention to it as much as we do to, World War II and whatnot. Even in that history, the contributions of Black people is not highlighted as much, right? Even when you think World War I, when you go, what happened in North Africa and all of that, it's not really talked about too much.
Exactly.
But things are changing, and just the fact that we're here having this conversation is a testament to that. And then so maybe 10 years down the road, maybe it is Black history, I don't know, half a year.
We'll look forward to it,
But yeah, no, I guess the point of that is things do need to happen in steps. And I truly do believe we will get there as a society, not just as the Black people alone. I think we know the value of allies, and we are increasingly getting more and more of them as well. So as a society, I think we are moving towards the right direction.
Yeah, definitely.
So since you've joined the Alliance, that video went out. Some of the feedback I got is, man, that guy from the Caribbean, his part was so well. I was like, oh, Jyasi. I have to ask, how does it feel to be recognized by your peers?
I appreciate it. I definitely do. I usually live my life like for myself and the people who care about me.
Yes.
But it is nice to feel, recognized or by strangers, and yeah, so I'm definitely flattered by it. Yeah.
I think it's a testament that you are involved in something bigger than just yourself and those in your immediate circle, which isn't a bad thing, but it shows that you're able to impact people that much further away, and that definitely is something to be proud of.
Yeah.
Right?
I didn't take any extra energy. It was just me doing me. So yeah,
mm-hmm.
That's good.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
If there was something you could change about UW, what would it be?
I think perhaps having more Black representation or BIPOC representation in various fields, or rather maybe they're already there, but exposing them to the public, right?
Oh.
I think we could have a better impact on society doing that.
Highlighting some of the work they're doing as well, right?
Yeah. And well, this is the first step to it, right? Having this Black History Month, I think highlighting the achievements of all the Black people in Waterloo, I think that's a really good step towards that.
No, I agree with you. I definitely agree with you. I will say, when I was in my first year, there was way less, whether students or staff and faculty, there was way less BIPOC members on campus. And so having the luxury of knowing what it was like back then, I can say, just like our earlier comment, we are moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
The important thing is to just keep moving in that right direction and let's not stay stagnant.
Exactly. Yeah.
So for the last question, it's a toss-up. Tell us something interesting about yourself, some interesting facts. They can be about you, things you've experienced, something about back home. Tell us something.
Something interesting about me, I guess. So I grew up in St. Lucia, but throughout that, I've represented St. Lucia many places.
Okay.
Like regionally meaning the Caribbean region, internationally as well, and I got a lot of exposure through that, and and after 2016, so in 2016 I moved to the US for 2 years. I did school there, my last 2 years of high school, and then I came here in 2018, and it's been a really good ride. Yeah, I've had a good one. Yeah.
No, that's actually neat. I bet there's just each of those steps. There's probably some amazing things that you remember happening.
Yeah.
I do have to ask because I love Caribbean food. What's your favorite dish? What's your favorite Caribbean dish? Authentic Caribbean dish. And I know the Caribbean's huge and there's diversity. You know, I think something like curry goat and oxtail is something common because we have that even in Staten.
Yeah. It's specifically from St. Lucia. Okay. I would say it's called bouillon, right? It's essentially it's a soup. It's a thick soup, but it has like peas, like potatoes, like starch tubers as well. Whatever meat you want in it as well. Like, and it's they make it like a thick soup like that. And I mean, you can add spinach as well. And I mean, whenever you have that, you're probably gonna
go to sleep after.
No, I mean, you wait about 2 to 3 hours, and then you probably do 2 backflips in the air if you wanted to. Yeah, it's a super food. It's definitely
yeah.
A
lot of carbs. You got spinach in there. Like it sounds like it sounds like what are they called? Those Cliff Bars, the energy bars, but it's packed with nutrients. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It has been great chatting with you. I know I've seen you in the hallways at the PAC. I don't know if I've seen you at CIF yet, but in the hallways at the PAC.
Yeah.
We've chatted, in our alliance meetings. And it's really, really good to have somebody like you, a student like you, representing not just your cultural background, but I think Black people as a whole.
Yeah.
And you do a great job at it. And I'm sure there's going to be somebody somewhere that will look at you as a role model and say, this is what I like about Jyasi, so I am going to try to take those personalities and make them my own. So keep up the good work.
Appreciate
Wherever
it.
takes you, I'm sure it's going to be somewhere amazing, but you're definitely going to impact some people on the way.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Take care, Jyasi.